It's based on a beautiful, really important book, and it's about a young woman named Lily who confronts the generational cycles in her life.
I mean, honestly, the way that I get into a character is through their style. So it was more about who Lily is that was so fascinating to me.
I'm honored, and I'm also more honored that because, you know, what we're talking about is so important and so meaningful, that we're able to have this much anticipation, and so many people want to go see it and are talking about it. Like, that's...
Her attorney quit right there in court, a public bombshell that sent shockwaves through Hollywood. Blake Lively's version of events, it seemed, no longer aligned with the cold, hard facts. Then came the whispers, quickly escalating to leaked messages from Blake herself, allegedly hinting at a stunning strategy to leverage deeply personal struggles. Imagine, postpartum anxiety, concerns about film safety, all potentially used as a calculated weapon to derail Justin Baldoni's promotional efforts. The implications? Devastating. Nobody expected such a ruthless move, leaving fans and industry insiders utterly speechless, questioning everything they thought they knew about one of Hollywood's most adored stars. This was no ordinary dispute, this was a war for the public narrative, and the first shot had just been fired.
You know, after I gave birth, he was like, oh my gosh, you know, if I lost you and I, you know, went to the park with our 3 kids, I mean, think of the ladies I can... Like, this is a horrible thing to say. And he's like, I mean, I've got a long list. And I was like, oh, really? Because I just have one on my list. I don't have anyone on my...
Justin Baldoni, known for his calm demeanor, unleashed what was dubbed disputed proof in court, leaving Blake Lively in a state of visible shock. What exactly could this undeniable evidence be? Speculation ran wild through industry circles, with insiders hinting at deeply personal information Blake never imagined would surface. Others pointed to sensitive business dealings or hushed situations within their shared professional sphere, matters that had been meticulously swept under the rug for far too long. Experts universally agreed this was not something easily dismissed. Such evidence held the power to decisively sway a high-profile lawsuit, carrying massive ramifications that kept everyone on a knife edge. The anticipation was palpable, a quiet tension brewing beneath the surface of Hollywood's polished facade. This wasn't merely a revelation, it was a carefully aimed torpedo at the heart of an established narrative.
Oh, but you were a bird? He's like, wait, who? And I was like, think of someone, think of someone. Bob Newhart, I don't know.
She said, just read it, because I was looking for movies that could be commercial and speak to the human experience. And
were you reading romance novels?
And I had never read a romance novel.
Never?
And she said, just trust me, read it. So I read it, and by the end of the book, I couldn't even read the text on the page because I was crying so much. My wife was in bed next to me.
Timing, it now appears, was absolutely everything. Justin Baldoni, usually reserved and rarely making public waves, had been quietly strategizing for months. Sources close to him suggested he was patiently waiting for the precise, opportune moment to unveil his compelling proof. The recent court appearance? Merely the tip of the iceberg, a calculated test of the waters before the full force of his evidence could be unleashed. Baldoni's audacious move signaled a much larger, meticulously planned strategy, one designed to decisively shift the entire narrative and apply maximum undeniable pressure. This wasn't a spontaneous outburst, it was a masterclass in strategic maneuvering, revealing a side of Baldoni few knew existed. The stakes were impossibly high, and his measured approach promised an unfolding drama of epic proportions, leaving observers wondering what other chess pieces he had moved into place.
Based on a beautiful, really important book, and it's about a young woman named Lily who confronts the generational cycles in her life and breaks them and ends the circle. And I hope people find it inspiring, and yet also, you know, it's a film.
For Blake Lively, the shock was undeniably real and profoundly personal. Despite her well-known resilience, having weathered constant public scrutiny from her high-profile relationship with Reynolds to the relentless spotlight on her career, this situation felt fundamentally different. No longer the untouchable star, Lively was now allegedly confronting her past decisions and interactions, laid bare before a courtroom packed with observers. The sudden intense vulnerability was a stark contrast to her usually polished public image. Legal experts immediately warned that this unprecedented development could rapidly escalate the entire case, taking it in unforeseen directions. Few had anticipated such a curveball for someone of her immense influence, especially with Baldoni now holding what appeared to be an incredibly powerful card. Her carefully constructed world, it seemed, was beginning to crack under the weight of mounting pressure.
And then it wasn't funny anymore.
With Baldoni wielding such a powerful, undisputed card, questions instantly began swirling. Could this escalate beyond a simple legal dispute? Many speculated it was rapidly morphing into a fierce battle, not just over the case's specifics, but over the very public narrative itself. The courtroom, once a sterile environment for legal proceedings, had dramatically transformed into a stage. Both actors, Lively and Baldoni, were playing their roles with an unanticipated level of intensity, each move scrutinized, each word dissected. This wasn't just about winning a lawsuit, it was about shaping perception, controlling the story, and ultimately defining who emerged victorious in the court of public opinion. The battle lines were drawn, and the clash promised to be nothing short of legendary, with careers and reputations hanging precariously in the balance. The drama was just beginning. The situation, beyond the legal implications, raised profound, uncomfortable questions about trust and loyalty, the very bedrock of any collaborative relationship in Hollywood. If the serious allegations and the mounting evidence held true, it could spark intense conversations about the actual nature of Lively and Baldoni's professional, and perhaps even personal rapport. Could this have been a deeply rooted, long-standing issue, meticulously hidden behind a carefully constructed veneer of friendship or professional collaboration? How much of their once publicly admired camaraderie was built on genuine respect, and how much was simply a matter of convenience or mutual protection? Observers were now meticulously combing through every past interaction, searching desperately for clues, but the unsettling truth many feared might be far more complicated than anyone had dared to imagine. Just when the public's attention had momentarily shifted, fixed on the evolving drama around Ryan Reynolds, the situation dramatically intensified. Blake's own attorney shocked everyone by resigning, a move practically unprecedented in Hollywood, where loyalty is currency, confirming her version of events simply didn't align with the emerging facts. Meanwhile, Baldoni didn't just present evidence, he unveiled a veritable mountain of it. Texts and messages spanning from the film's pre-production all the way through to the final wrap party. These communications, meticulously compiled, began to reveal a completely different side of the story, one the public had never been privy to. Each new piece of evidence was a hammer blow, systematically dismantling the existing narrative and painting a picture nobody expected. This was no longer conjecture, it was documented reality, about to reshape everything. The unearthed communications painted a dramatically different picture of Baldoni's conduct, directly contradicting earlier narratives. Far from ignoring Blake, the text showed Justin actively trying to maintain peace, consistently encouraging her to speak up, and doing everything within his power to keep their collaboration professional and constructive. There were apologies for minor missteps, offers of flexible scheduling, and repeated solicitations for Blake's creative input on key decisions. He was clearly deeply invested in a genuine, respectful collaboration, even when his concerted efforts appeared to go unheard or unacknowledged. As more of this detailed evidence surfaced, it became increasingly difficult, almost impossible, to dispute the narrative that Baldoni had been striving for a harmonious and respectful process all along. The transparency of these exchanges began to solidify his position, making his actions appear consistently honorable. But the real bombshell landed in the form of leaked messages allegedly from Blake Lively to her closest friends, suggesting a far more complicated, troubling story. In these texts, she purportedly hinted at leveraging deeply personal struggles such as postpartum anxiety or concerns about the film's on-set safety as a calculated means to deliberately derail Justin Baldoni's promotional efforts. The messages painted a stark, unflattering picture, implying Blake was timing these highly sensitive revelations not for genuine personal sharing, but as a strategic maneuver to consciously steal the spotlight from any positive press Baldoni might be generating. This was no accidental slip, it was, according to the leaks, a deliberate, cold-blooded tactic to control the narrative and divert attention, suggesting a level of premeditation that shocked even jaded Hollywood insiders. While Ryan Reynolds was never directly mentioned in these alleged texts, Blake's cryptic references to My Circle and Dragons immediately raised significant eyebrows. Was she subtly suggesting that influential allies, powerful figures within her inner sanctum, were poised and ready to help push her meticulously crafted narrative? The timing of these alleged messages and subsequent actions appeared highly calculated, designed to maximum impact. It pointed to a sophisticated, orchestrated campaign, not merely a spontaneous reaction to events. The implication was clear. This wasn't just Blake acting alone. There was a suspected network, a powerful support system, potentially ready to amplify her story, regardless of the consequences for others involved. The stakes were rapidly escalating beyond a personal spat, hinting at a wider power play within the industry. Then came her sudden, unexplained disappearance. Rumors spread like wildfire as Blake reportedly canceled multiple significant public appearances, including a major promotional event for the film, with her management remaining conspicuously silent. This radio silence only fueled intense speculation. A leaked flight manifest soon provided undeniable proof. She had boarded a private jet, accompanied by a small entourage and notably minimal luggage. Photos captured at the airport depicted a tense, almost evasive figure hiding behind dark sunglasses and a hat, a stark contrast to her usual confident public persona. Was she actively fleeing the rapidly escalating fallout of the recent revelations, desperately trying to avoid intense scrutiny, or perhaps escaping a meticulously crafted mess she had allegedly helped create? Her vanishing act was yet another seismic shock. Public opinion, predictably, split down the middle with passionate ferocity. One faction of fans sympathized deeply, framing her sudden disappearance as a natural, understandable reaction to immense pressure and the onslaught of negative media attention. They saw a star overwhelmed, seeking refuge. However, another equally vocal group viewed her swift exit as highly suspicious, almost an admission of guilt. If she genuinely believed in her innocence, why would she choose to avoid facing Justin's grave accusations head-on in the public arena? This division highlighted the deep emotional investment fans had in both stars, transforming a private legal dispute into a polarizing public spectacle. The battle for hearts and minds was as intense as the courtroom drama, reflecting a fundamental schism in perception and loyalty. As the drama escalated and the rumors swirled, Baldoni's response remained calculated yet acutely pointed. He consistently emphasized that his unwavering focus had always been, and would continue to be, on the film's creative direction and its professional integrity. Publicly, he expressed a nuanced regret that Blake felt compelled to leave, but crucially, he simultaneously highlighted that the new damaging messages strongly suggested a clear instigator behind the negative media narrative that had engulfed their project. This strategic framing redirected blame without overtly attacking Blake, instead letting the evidence speak for itself. His composure amidst the chaos underscored his commitment to the film, portraying him as a figure dedicated to his craft rather than engaging in personal vendettas, even as the storm raged around him. Suddenly, Ryan Reynolds, once thought to be quietly, stalwartly supporting Blake from the sidelines, found himself unceremoniously thrust directly into the heart of the chaos. His once unquestioned role was now subjected to intense scrutiny, with fans and media outlets fervently speculating on his next move. Would he follow Blake overseas, abandoning his career in the US to join her in seclusion, or would he remain stateside to frantically manage the rapidly growing PR crisis? Whispers circulated that he was urgently seeking advice from top-tier PR and legal experts, desperately attempting to contain the potential devastating damage to his own pristine career and public image. Headlines that once celebrated his charm and wit now relentlessly focused on scandalous text messages and his alleged indirect involvement in Blake's controversial strategy, casting a long shadow over their golden couple status. T.J. Miller, the actor who had previously made controversial implications about Reynolds' involvement, chose this moment to step back, allowing the fresh, compelling evidence to speak entirely for itself. He appeared quietly, definitively vindicated. The latest texts, now public, seem to powerfully reinforce his earlier claims, particularly regarding alleged media manipulation and strategically timed leaks, specifically designed to tarnish Baldoni's reputation. Miller's earlier, seemingly outlandish assertions suddenly gained undeniable credibility, transforming from mere speculation into corroborated fact. His silence at this crucial juncture spoke volumes, suggesting that the truth he had hinted at was now undeniable, laid bare for the entire world to see. It was a dramatic turn, validating a perspective many had initially dismissed as mere gossip or exaggeration. Industry insiders watched, utterly shocked, as the fallout continued to cascade. Blake and Ryan, once revered as Hollywood's golden couple, celebrated for their undeniable talent and captivating chemistry, were now deeply embroiled in a scandal that threatened not only the success of the film, but also their carefully cultivated personal brands. Studio executives expressed serious concern about future projects involving the high-profile pair, citing that public perception is absolutely crucial in an industry built on image and collaboration. When actors' off-camera behavior appears unpredictable or potentially manipulative, studios instinctively perceive an unacceptable risk. Trust is the foundational currency in Hollywood, and questionable actions can quickly jeopardize lucrative partnerships. The Dream Team's meticulously crafted image was crumbling, piece by painful piece, before a stunned global audience. Online, fans remained fiercely divided and increasingly vocal, mirroring the split in wider public opinion. Some passionately argued that the leaked messages served as undeniable proof of manipulation, a betrayal of trust that could not be excused. Others strongly contended that essential context was missing, urging caution and a more nuanced understanding before condemning Blake entirely. Many sympathetic voices viewed Blake's sudden disappearance as an act of desperate self-preservation, stemming from feeling utterly sidelined and overwhelmed. Conversely, a significant portion suspected it was a cunning, calculated move to evade immediate legal consequences or intense public scrutiny. Conspiracy theories, wild and unsubstantiated, flourished, adding layers of bizarre speculation to an already complex, volatile situation, making it harder to discern truth from rumor. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni's film team breathed a collective sigh of profound relief as the truth finally began its slow, painstaking ascent to the surface. For weeks, the relentless media circus had relentlessly overshadowed their hard work on a film intended to be heartfelt and emotionally resonant, leaving the dedicated crew members frustrated, exhausted, and deeply demoralized. Anonymous crew members bravely stepped forward, emphasizing that while small disagreements were entirely normal on any high-pressure set, nothing had prepared them for the relentless, brutal public scrutiny surrounding the severe accusations leveled against Justin. When he released the full comprehensive text logs, it was more than just an effort to clear his own name, it was a powerful act to give voice to the quiet, hard-working crew who had steadfastly supported him from day one, unsure if their perspective would ever truly be heard amidst the maelstrom. Concurrently, the mystery surrounding Blake Lively's sudden disappearance deepened even further, becoming increasingly compelling. Social media sightings, buzzing with unconfirmed reports, began to place her in a specific European city, a location notoriously favored for celebrity hideaways. One hotel employee even claimed to have positively identified a woman matching Blake's distinct description, meticulously hiding behind dark sunglasses and checking in under an assumed false name. Paparazzi, ever vigilant, swarmed the entire area, yet Blake remained stubbornly elusive, seemingly vanishing into thin air. Rumors quickly ran rampant. Was she desperately seeking solitude to escape the relentless press, or was this an integral part of a much larger, carefully orchestrated plan, perhaps even a calculated comeback aimed at spinning Justin's explosive evidence into a mere misunderstanding, a carefully crafted narrative of victimhood? The questions piled up. The unfolding situation served as a harsh, undeniable reminder of just how swiftly fame can unravel, how quickly a meticulously constructed image can shatter. Just months earlier, Blake Lively had appeared utterly untouchable, her charisma lighting up every interview, her charity work garnering widespread admiration, and her meticulously curated social media presence maintaining an almost pristine public image. But now, visible cracks began to show, rapidly expanding into gaping fissures. Her sudden dramatic departure from the country, coming mere days after Justin released the damning messages, appeared to many as a symbolic, perhaps even fatal, final blow to her once unblemished public reputation. Hollywood careers can collapse in an instant, especially when the carefully maintained illusion of smooth collaboration is shattered, and behind-the-scenes manipulations are ruthlessly exposed. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni doubled down, laser-focused on meticulously finishing the film, making it unequivocally clear that despite the intense, ongoing drama with Blake, the story itself would proceed exactly as planned. The cast and crew, shaken but determined, rallied powerfully behind him, praising his steadfast leadership and unwavering composure amidst the relentless chaos. They collectively described the entire ordeal as a cautionary tale, a stark warning about how unchecked star power can devastatingly overshadow genuine artistic creativity, particularly when unseen manipulation lurks sinisterly behind the scenes. Baldoni's resolve transformed the set into a testament of resilience, a united front against external pressures, prioritizing the art over the personal melodrama and showing true leadership under fire, inspiring loyalty from his dedicated team. Blake's next move remained anyone's guess, a subject of endless, fervent speculation. If she genuinely hoped that disappearing entirely would simply allow public interest to fade into obscurity, she might face a rude awakening. Justin's detailed, undeniable receipts had only intensified scrutiny, making her swift exit appear dangerously, like a desperate attempt to avoid accountability. Some insiders cautiously speculated she might eventually choose the PR route, issuing a carefully worded statement designed to subtly reframe the texts, while others believed she would lie low until the storm had irrevocably passed. Questions also endlessly swirled around Ryan Reynolds. With Blake gone, would he remain in the US to manage the widespread fallout, or would he follow her overseas, fueling already rampant speculation that the couple was orchestrating a joint escape, a desperate flight from Hollywood's judgment? His prolonged silence had already drawn significant media criticism, and if he too vanished, it could solidify devastating suspicions that this entire situation was a meticulously calculated maneuver designed for evasion. As the dust slowly begins to settle, one undeniable fact remains crystal clear. This gripping drama underscores with brutal honesty how quickly deeply entrenched alliances can spectacularly collapse once private messages are thrust into the unforgiving public spotlight. Justin Baldoni's consistent, unwavering calls for professionalism, his steadfast insistence that there were truly no hard feelings, and his relentless, unwavering commitment to the film's ultimate success have profoundly resonated within an industry increasingly cautious and wary of celebrity-fueled drama. Whether the leaked text were the final decisive push driving Blake to vanish remains uncertain, but the timing is strikingly, undeniably provocative. Blake Lively, once the golden star of red carpets and effortless charm, is now inextricably associated with scandal, strategic maneuvering, and a sudden, deeply unexplained disappearance. Her sudden departure sends a stark, chilling warning. In this high-stakes world, the truth, whether real or meticulously spun, can shift everything in an instant, transforming Darling into disappearing act, hoping the storm of revelations fades with distance.